Alright, looking at some polynomial expressions. 49 to 50 says write the following in descending order and name the polynomial. So in standard form, what we want to do is we want to write the greatest exponent first. So I can see here that I have an x to the 7th. So this is going to be negative x to the 7th plus 5x cubed and then plus 4x. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to name it based on the degree of the polynomial and then how many terms I have. So this is a 7th degree trinomial because it has 3 terms. That's what a trinomial means, 3 terms. 7th degree means that my exponent, my biggest exponent, is 7. Same thing here, I'm going to write it in descending order. So this third power is the biggest exponent plus v squared and then plus 2v. So again, it's a trinomial. Alright, now it's a 3rd degree because the biggest exponent is 3. Number 51, 52, and 53 says find the degree. So make sure it's in standard form, biggest exponent first. If it is, fantastic, degree is equal to 2. Here the degree is equal to 1. It's an understood 1 there. And here, we need to write this in standard form. My biggest exponent comes first, so negative 4x to the 5th. Next exponent would be to the 3rd power, so plus 2x cubed. Next thing is going to be plus 3x squared, and then minus 2. So now I can see that I have a degree of 5. 54 and 55, we're going to simplify. Okay, I need to have like terms to be able to combine them together. So if we're adding, I'm looking for like terms. X to the 3rd is going to be a like term with x to the 3rd. So you have 4 here. You add 1, you get 5 x to the 3rd. I see an x squared. I see an x squared. So 1 minus 3 is going to be a negative 2x squared. And then a positive 7x. No more x to the first powers, so positive 7x. And then a minus 5. Now 55 we're going to subtract. So this is going to be 4z squared minus 3. And I'm going to distribute this negative. So minus negative is going to be a positive 2z squared minus positive, so it's going to be a negative 5z, and then a minus a negative again, so positive 1. Now we're going to combine like terms. So z squared, if I add those together, 4 plus 2 is going to be 6z squared. I've got a 5z to the 1st, no more z to the 1st. And I've got a negative 3, positive 1, so minus 2. Alright, looking at factoring. So 56 we want to factor. So we're looking at factors of a times c. So in this case a is 1, c is 16. So 2 factors that multiply to give me a times c but combine to give me b. So factors that multiply to give me 16 but add to give me 10. So in this case that's going to be 2 and 8. 2 times 8 is going to give me 16. 2 plus 8 is going to give me 10. Now, I can set up my parentheses. I know an x goes in both. If I have a plus here, I know I'm going to take this sign and write it twice. So plus in the back, take that sign and write it twice. So we've got plus plus. My factors are 8 and 2. Looking at number 57, okay, I'm looking at factors of a times c. So factors of 72 that combine to give me a negative 1. So factors of 72 that combine to give me a negative 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our asterisk method. We're going to take a and put it in the top. Now I'm looking at factors of a times c that combine to give me b. Now I have a minus sign in the back, so I know my factors are going to be positive and negative. Going to be opposite signs because I have to multiply to get a negative number here. So the bigger of my factors is going to take that sign. So my factors are going to be 9 and 8. And you know right now that the 9 has to be a negative because the 9 is bigger than the 8. When I combine those, you have to get 8 minus 9. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. Alright, so 9 times 8 is going to give me 72, which is 6 times 12. And then if I add those together, I get a negative 1 here. Okay, so negative 9 goes here, positive 8 goes here. Now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to reduce this fraction. Okay, so this is both divisible by 2. So this becomes 3 over 4. This is both divisible by 3, so this becomes 2 over negative 3. Now this goes in the first, this goes in the second. right? So we have two parentheses. This is going to be 3x and a positive 4. This is going to be 2x and a negative 3. All right, looking at number 58, we're looking at factors of 27 that combine to give me 12. All right, so I know I have a plus sign in the back. X goes in both. I know that plus sign in the back. I take that sign, write it twice, so plus plus. Factors of a times c that combine to give me b. So factors of 27, 9 and 3. We know they both have to be positive. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 plus 3 is 12. Fantastic. So plus 9 plus 3. Bam, there it is. 59, x squared minus 36. This is a difference of two squares. Same thing, I've got x in both. I need to get multiply to get a negative, so one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Now, factors of 36 that need to be the same number. Okay, well 6 times 6. And last one, number 60, I'm looking for factors of 42 that combine to give me a positive 1. Factors of 42 that combine to give me. Again, how did I get 42? I'm going to take a times c. I need to combine to get b. Okay, so factors of 2 times 21, factors of 42, that combine to give me a positive 1. Now, we know that I'm going to have different signs because I got to multiply to get a negative. Okay, so a times c, that combine to give me b. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. Okay, well 6 and 7 multiply to give me 42, and 6 and 7 combine to give me 1 when I have different signs here. So which one has to be positive, which one has to be negative? The bigger of 6 and 7 needs that sign. Okay, well 7's bigger than 6, so 7 needs to be positive, 6 needs to be negative. Okay, so in the top goes a, in the bottom go my factors, so positive 7 and negative 6. Now again, we want to try to reduce our fractions. 2 and 7 cannot reduce, so we've got 2x plus 7. In the bottom, I can reduce this by 2, so it's going to be x over negative 3. So 1x minus 3. Alright, looking at some word problems with these. So number 61 says the length of a rectangle is 3x squared minus x minus 2. The width is yada yada yada, right? An expression represents the perimeter of the rectangle, right? So perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2W. So perimeter is equal to 2 times the length, which is 3x squared minus x minus 2, plus 2 times the width, which is 4x squared minus 7x plus 4. So what I need to do is I need to multiply these, right? Distribute. 2 times 3 is 6x squared. 2 times negative 1 is a negative 2x, and then negative 4. Plus, same thing here, let's distribute the 2. 2 times 4x squared is going to give me a positive 8x squared. 2 times negative 7x is negative 14x. 2 times 4 is a positive 8. Now I want to combine like terms. So x squared, x squared. So it's going to give me a 14x squared. I've got an x to the first. So negative and a negative, negative 16x. And then negative 4, positive 8. It's going to be a positive 4. Alright, so next one, we want to represent the area. Okay, well area is length times width. So it says the width is 4x minus 1. The length, it should say length, one of these, okay, sorry. And the length is 2x plus 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply these. Now, we have a binomial times a binomial. We can either FOIL or box it. Okay, I'm just going to FOIL it. So FOIL it, we're going to take this term and multiply it to both terms in the second parentheses. So 2x times 4x is going to give me 2 times 4, which is 8. X times x is x squared. 2x times negative 1 is a negative 2x. When we multiply this term to everything in the parentheses, we go to the next term. So positive 3 goes to everything in the parentheses. 3 times 4x is a positive 12x. 3 times negative 1 is a negative 3x. Sorry, negative 3. Alright, now we want to combine like terms. So x squared, no more x squareds. So my answer is going to be 8x squared. X to the first, I can combine those together. 12 minus 2 is a positive 10x, and then minus 3. Alright, number 63, it says the area of a rectangle is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. The width is equal to x plus 4. What's the length? Okay, so we've got 2x squared plus 7x minus 4, and we're going to divide by x plus 4, right? Because area is equal to length times width. Well, we know that the area is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. We want the length, and we know that the width is x plus 4. So in order to find the length, we need to divide by x plus 4 on both sides. Alright, so I know that this term needs to multiply by x to get 2x squared. So what times x gives me 2x squared? 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 4 is going to give me a positive 8x. Now let's subtract. We're going to long divide these. So 2x squared minus 2x, those go away. 7x minus 8x is going to give me a negative x. Bring that down, negative 4. Alright, so now what times x is going to give me a negative x? It's got to be negative 1. So negative 1 times x is a negative x. Negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4. And now we're subtracting that entire thing. So negative x minus negative is going to be a positive, which goes away. Negative 4 minus negative is a positive 4, so 4 minus 4 is 0. So my answer is length is equal to 2x minus 1. Alright, let's look at number 64. We're going to solve by factoring. So the same thing that we did for number 56 through 60. We're looking at factors of 64 that combine to give me 16. Set up my parentheses, and x goes in both. We have a plus sign in the back, take that sign, write it twice. Factors of 64 that combine to give me 16 would be 8 and 8. So x plus 8, x plus 8. Now this is not in standard form. I need to put it in standard form, which means I need to move this 9. So it's going to become x squared minus 16, right? Minus 9 on both sides. Negative 9 and negative 7 is negative 16. Again, this is a difference of two squares. I need an x in both. This minus sign tells me that my signs are different. So 2 of the same number that multiply to give me 16 is going to be 4 and 4. And to put this in standard form, so it's going to be 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. So we're looking at factors of a times c. Factors of 2 times negative 5 is a negative 10. That combine to give me a negative 3. Now I know I have a minus sign in the back, so I have opposite signs for my factors. I take my a and write it twice. So I'm looking for factors of 10 that combine to give me a negative 3. Factors of 10, a times c, that combine to give me a negative 3. So we know it has to be 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now, which one needs to be the negative? Which one needs to be the positive? The bigger number gets that sign. Obviously 5 is bigger than 2, so we know 5 has to be negative, 2 has to be positive. So right here, negative 5 and positive 2. Now let's reduce our fraction if possible. So this is 2x minus 5, you can't reduce that, so 2x minus 5. 2x plus 2, you can reduce by 2, it's going to become x plus 1. Alright, now, sorry, we're not quite done. So we want to solve this by factoring. So what we did is we factored it. Now we want to solve it. So we want to know what x is equal to. So what we're going to do is both of those are equal to 0. So we're going to use our zero product property and say x plus 8 is equal to 0. And this x plus 8 is equal to 0. Well, if I subtract 8 here, I get x equals negative 8. Same thing here. I subtract 8, I get x equals negative 8. So my answer is x equals negative 8. Alright, now both of these are equal to 0, so we've got x plus 4 equals 0, and we've got x minus 4 is equal to 0. So let's subtract 4 here and get x is equal to negative 4. Let's add 4 here and we get x equals positive 4. And on these, both of these are equal to 0, so we know that x plus 1 equals 0, so x equals negative 1. And we set this equal to 0, so we've got 2x minus 5 equals 0, so let's add 5. 2x is equal to 5, so x is equal to 5 halves. Looking at number 67. It's already factored for us, so what we're going to do is we're just going to set those equal to 0. So we've got 3x plus 7 equals 0, and we've got 2x minus 5 equals 0. So solve for x. Let's subtract 7 on both sides. We get 3x equals negative 7, so x equals negative 7/3. And we get add 5 to x equals 5, so x equals positive 5 halves. Alright, number 68, 69, and 70, we're going to use the quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is ax squared plus bx plus c. So we know that b, negative b, the opposite of b is a negative 3, plus or minus the square root of 3 squared, which is 9, minus 4 times 2 times negative 4 over 2 times 2. So negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. And then 16 times positive 2 is a positive 30. So it's going to become positive 30 over 4. All right, now negative 3 plus or minus square root of 39 over 4. Now we can look to simplify this if possible. Cannot simplify. All right, same thing here. Let's put it in standard form. 3x squared minus 6x minus 5. What we want to do is this is A, this is B, this is C. So opposite of B. So it's going to become positive 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 4 times 3 times negative 5 over 2 times 3. So we get 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 5, which is 60. Negative times a negative is a positive, so it's positive 60 over 6. So it's going to become 6 plus or minus the square root of 96 over 6. All right, now we want to simplify 96. So the square root of 96, we're looking for factors of 96, which would be 12 and 8. That would be 4 and 2. This would be 4 and 3. All right, so we have a pair of 4s that comes outside the radical. We're left with 6 underneath the radical. So this is going to become 6 plus or minus 4 square roots of 6 over 6. Now we can simplify that. All these are divisible by 2. So it's going to become 3 plus or minus 2 square root of 6 over 2. And last one, x squared plus 2x minus 5, right? X squared plus 2x minus 5 in standard form. All right, now we've got negative b, the opposite of b, so negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, 4, minus 4 times 1 times negative 5 over 2 times a. So negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4. Negative 4 times 1, which is a negative 4, times negative 5 is a positive 20 over 2. So negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 24 over 2. So we can look to simplify 24. 6 and 4. We know that reduces to 2 and 2. That reduces to 2 and 3. So we have a pair of 2's that comes outside. So this becomes negative 2 plus or minus. Square root of 24 reduces to 2 square roots of 6 over, still over 2. Now all those are divisible by 2. So we get negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 1.